First of all, my name is Blaine A. Griffin. I'm the Cleveland City Council President. I'm also the council person for Ward 6, and it's an honor and a privilege to be here before you today for what I think is a very important step in Cleveland's trajectory, which is the signing and official signing of a community benefits ordinance and signing a MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding. What is a Memorandum of Understanding? A Memorandum of Understanding is pretty much an operating agreement. We passed legislation last year, which we believe will make sure that we have equity in everything that we do whenever any taxpayer dollar is spent in the city of Cleveland. However, we wanted to take it a step further. We wanted to make sure that there's an operating agreement so that we will all do this together. Anything that we've ever done in the city of Cleveland, we've done it with collaborative leadership. We've done it with everybody, from the labor community to the contractors, to folks from all different ethnic backgrounds, to men and women that have experience in all of this, to the corporate sector, the philanthropic sector, the nonprofit sector, and yes, government. So I want to thank all of you for getting us here today. You all deserve to give yourself a round of applause if you could. I always have learned to always give the team that's beneath you, because I learned a long time ago that airplanes can't fly without a great ground crew. And I want to thank the ground crew that really put this together. First, I want to acknowledge Jennifer Heinert O'Leary, the attorney who did this. Jennifer. I want to acknowledge Jessica Columbi, if she's around. Where's Jessica at? And ladies and gentlemen, we got these smart young people that's in the office. I could say that now because I got a little bit gray in my face now. But we got these smart young people, and this young lady is going to be a rising star. You're going to hear about her. Her name is Brooke Saban. Brooke, if you could stand up as well. I also want to thank all of the policy team, the communications teams, all of the working groups, especially GCP and my partner, Beju Shaw, Marty McGann, and Chris Nance. And where's Patrice? Where's Patrice? Patrice really worked with us. And then several of the contractors. I know Dominique is not here, but Dominique Ozan, Shakuri Davis, I see Bridget Grant, one of the other up-and-coming contractors. We really have a great partnership, and hopefully this is the step towards building something special in the city of Cleveland. I want to thank the administration for working hand in hand with us. The mayor and myself got summoned one day, and it was a summons, from several corporate leaders that say, hey, just tell us what you want us to do. Tell us and that we can have more predictability, that we can have more and better outcomes for what you're trying to accomplish. And that's what we did. We just rolled up our sleeves. We challenged our teams to come up with a product that we believe we all could be proud of. In the past, there was a ceremonial signing, but there was not legislation guaranteeing that we can have the outcomes that we want. I was just joined by some of the best teammates that I can ever imagine. You see, I'm trying to stay council president, y'all. But first, Joe Jones, Councilman Joe Jones, if he could stand up, Councilman Joe Jones in Ward 1. Next, Councilman Kevin Bishop, Ward 2. My friend, my sweetheart, one of my best friends, the Majority Whip and the Conscience of Council, Jasmine Santana. Another very good friend and has just been a dynamo, and we made it a point to make sure that we had a working man on council, Danny Kelly. I'll turn it over to the mayor, but I want to say this, that a lot of people read things in City Hall and they look at the news and they say, that's all the people do at City Hall is fight. We do get things done. This is one of the things that I want to say, that everybody worked hard to try to make sure that we had the outcome that we wanted, because the people of this city deserve to have a great return on their investment whenever we're having these conversations. So once again, thanks everybody. We appreciate you being here. I'll now turn it over to the mayor. After the mayor, we will have Aaron Kirkpatrick, and then we'll have closing remarks if anybody from the media wants to ask us any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to just first give a round of applause to our council president for his leadership in spearheading this effort. This is a big deal for the city as you think about all the great projects we have in the pipeline to really create a strong, inclusive comeback throughout the city and across the region. And as the council president mentioned, we were summoned. The council president and I had our own interaction with the challenge the private sector was experiencing in terms of a lack of cohesion, a lack of predictability, and a lack of clear guardrails on what makes a strong, effective community benefits agreement and framework. And in that meeting, we had some candid conversations with the private sector, developers, our union brothers and sisters as well too. So we took that feedback and we got to work. And that work has led us to this moment here this morning. And as I think about all the great work that we've done over the last 2 years since the council president and I have took the helm, this, in my opinion, is an embodiment of what good collaboration looks like at City Hall. And what gets me excited are developers like Ariane Kirkpatrick, who was with the president a couple days ago. She got a special invitation from President Biden to attend the St. Patrick's Day brunch at the White House. And as we heard from President Biden, America's economic comeback is being fueled by cities and towns all across this great country. But that comeback, that true inclusive comeback, won't be realized if folks like Ariane and Shaq and others in this room aren't a part of that comeback. And our residents are depending on the inclusion of our developers, our trade unions to be a part of all the great development we have in the pipeline. Because as a majority minority city, we not only have a policy obligation to do this work right, but a moral obligation as well to get it right. So again, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to do the real work and roll up our sleeves to make sure that as we see cranes in the sky, we see Cleveland residents and Black and brown developers be a part of this great work we have in the pipeline across the city and the region. So again, congrats everybody. Let's keep pushing. Thanks so much.
Before I bring up Aaron Kirkpatrick, we had a couple of other council members that joined us. I know it's election day, but we had a lot of stuff we had to get off our plate today, and they were dealing with a very important conversation around the TIF districts. But I do want to acknowledge the majority leader, Kerry McCormick, if he could raise his hand. The chair of Development, Planning, and Sustainability, who also played a very important and pivotal role in developing this, Anthony Hairston, if he could raise his hand. I want to acknowledge Richard Starr. Where is he at? There he is, Councilman Richard Starr. Councilman Starr, to his credit, even before we actually passed this community benefits agreement, probably has one of the gold standards of a community benefits agreement. So I'd encourage everybody to look at some of the things that he did. I also see Councilwoman Stephanie House, if she could please stand. Councilwoman Stephanie House Jones. That's right, got to get it right. Councilwoman Stephanie House Jones. And then also Councilwoman Jenny Spencer. Councilwoman Jenny Spencer. As you can see, council works together as a body. Everybody asked, they said, you're the council president. I said, I'm only one of many. And we all work as a body. So I appreciate all of the colleagues and the work that you did to help make this happen as well. With that being said, the mayor talked so eloquently about this young lady. She's a young lady who we're all proud of. I'm more proud to call her friend than anything else because she just has a big heart for people. And she's also a successful businesswoman, Ariane Kirkpatrick.
And this day really wants me to cry, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to. It's a big day. So I just want to thank you, Mayor Bibb, Council President Griffin, Cleveland City Council, the City of Cleveland staff, all of the community leaders, NAMAC, GCP, Urban League, Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, many more, owners, many of all the partners who came together to make a change, to make a difference, to be impactful. I want to give special recognition to two companies that really are integral in us being here today because they've been in the fight for a long time, and that's McTech and Ozan. I have to give a special shout out to our esteemed leader for NAMAC, Hilton Smith. an icon in the construction industry that truly has been impactful and intentional. Life for us ain't been no crystal stair. When Martin Luther King gave his famous I Have a Dream speech, many of us might not know before the dream part, he told the nation, we need your support in order to get the Civil Rights Bill passed. He further said it's a reality. Let's not fool ourselves. This bill isn't going to get through if we don't put some work in it and some determined pressure. In order to get this bill through, we've got to arouse the consciousness of the nation. Sound familiar, Mayor and Council President? Things just ain't that simple. To be the right thing isn't always easy. The conscience must be raised, and leaders like you are integral in making that happen. The Memorandum of Understanding is here today. Leadership is not about being popular. It is not about doing what is right when things might seem like it's not. We have to be right 100% of the time, and it's all right to step out the box. Leadership is not about maintaining the status quo. It is about pushing the envelope. Thank you for pushing the envelope, for doing that thing. The legacy of Cleveland will be defined by an unwavering commitment to equality, economic inclusion, and social justice. Maynard Jackson said, I never saw Black folks as poor, but rather as a people who had been deprived of opportunity. That day has changed. As Taraji P. Henson has been saying, the math ain't mathing. The dollars aren't making sense for the Black and brown and women communities. We all are rich people from our spirit, and it's time for the economic change and the barriers to be removed. Again, the dollars need to make sense. Now don't get it twisted. They didn't put together and do all this work of an MOU because they want a dog and pony show. They don't want quotas. They don't want front companies. We want to build sustainable companies. And the only way to do that is to make sure we have opportunities that are intentional and impactful. A bill where the loose change turns into dollars, where the dollar lives longer in our communities. The math is adding up in Cleveland today. On this first day of spring, as cold as it is, we're gonna warm things up. We're gonna light this fire up, baby. On this first day of spring here in the city of Cleveland, we are no longer setting the clock backwards, but we are springing forward. On this first day of spring, it's time for the seeds we have planted to grow so that minority contractors can build, minority developers can develop, minority architects design, and engineers, I never know what they're doing, can engineer. Remember again, Martin said he had a dream about Black children and white children coming together to hold hands. Well, I have a dream that as we ride past and down the streets, that as we see all of these construction projects, we will see Black tradesmen and women pouring concrete, brown tradeswomen and men building decks, small businesses installing electrical wiring. Black, brown, and white, as brothers and sisters, and all be a part of the building of the city of Cleveland. We are all in. I'll go back believing that the new day is coming, and so this afternoon, I have a dream no longer, but a deferred is a reality today. A reality deeply rooted in the American nation in our beloved city of Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you.
I think we might need to add elder to, or pastor to Arian's titles. Next, I want to bring up a sister that I've known a long time, and Erin is right. A lot of people ask me about how do we build Black and brown coalitions, but I also want to say how do we build coalitions with women as well to make sure that we acknowledge their plightiness in Women's History Month. So the next person I'm proud to bring up is the President and CEO of the Northeast Ohio Hispanic Center for Economic Development, Janice Contreras.
Buenos dias. You know, as I sit here and think about this process, right, the journey that we have been on, I feel that it's very personal. As I look out and look at all the folks that I have worked with for over a decade around these efforts, right? And so to get to this point and to this celebration and to this monumental legislation in our city is definitely something to celebrate. But really what happens tomorrow, what happens in a year, what happens in 3 years and 5 years, and the impact of what this means definitely makes me feel tender about it. But even more, taking it a little bit more personal than that, you know, and taking it to our neighborhood, in the Clark-Fulton neighborhood. We have dreams, we have aspirations for what that neighborhood could be. And 10 years ago, when I started the conversation around construction and advocating for Latino contractors, I never thought we would do this in our backyard. And this morning, I walked through Centro Villa and I said, buenos dias to our contractors and to the folks working on our project, our electrician, the folks putting the tiles. And to say that that is a dream realized is really the implications of what this legislation has in our city. That we're building our city by us, for us, right here in our own backyard. And our city has enabled me to become a developer, me to lead for my community. And for that, I am grateful to celebrate with you and to sign this MOU with all of my brothers and sisters who have helped lift me, my community, and as we continue to lift others. So, gracias de todo corazón.
Thank you so much, Janice. I do want to acknowledge we were joined by another one of our council colleagues, Councilman Chris Harsh, if he could raise his hand. Councilman Chris Harsh. One of the things that we added in this community benefits agreement, because we want to make sure that we have quality labor whenever we're on this project, and I want to give credit to Dave Wondolowski, who really worked closely with us and said, Blaine, one of the things that will help this be a strong document is if we were able to put a project labor agreement. It's the first time embedded in a piece of legislation that we made it mandatory that we want to make sure that we have good quality labor on there. So it's important to have laborers, 310, and the building trades that were a part of constructing this as well. So I want to bring up my good friend, Terry Joyce from the Cleveland Building Trades.
As you can tell from my attire, I'm a pinch hitter here today, so my apologies. But Mayor, Council President, distinguished panel, great members of our great community, we're just proud, always been proud. Myself and Danny come from a local where diversity was our culture. Diversity was how we got into our trade and who we worked with every day. We very early on realized that maybe that wasn't across all the trades. And with good partnerships like Hosann Group and Reverend, Turner, McTech, Arian, we all got to where we needed to be, and we helped others along the way. And whether it's our Cleveland Bills, our pre-apprenticeship program, our work at Tri-C, or our work at Max Hayes, we're getting the word out. We're going to John Hay, we're going to Benedictine, we're going to inner city schools to tell them that maybe college isn't for everybody. I mean, when I became an agent, we would have counselors shut the door on us, many in this greater community, and say, not my kids, they're going to college, because what does a college counselor get paid to do? Get their kids to college. I think that worm's turned. I know it has, because it's people calling us now. Could you come out to our career day? Could you come out and tell Johnny or Jane that maybe college isn't for them and you can make a living in the trades? So that helps us so much. That's a commitment, Mayor and Council President, that we'll bring to the table. Where's Chris at? Chris, we talked with Chris on the way in. You know, it wasn't that long ago that we all got on a plane and flew to LA and flew to Boston. I'm blessed to go around this country and talk to other laborers. Cleveland will take a back seat to nobody on how far we're along of what we're doing. So more work to be done. I don't rest on my laurels. That's not the guy that raised me, taught me to be. So we'll keep forging ahead. We'll keep with that commitment, and we'll make this town a better place for everyone. So thank you. Thank you.
Last but not least, we have one of those good problems in Cleveland. We got a lot of work going on. We got so much work going on that we don't have enough of a workforce. So Cleveland City Council invested approximately $10 million into our workforce initiative that has multiple partners. And the person leading that effort, I have a proud honor to bring up right now, Michelle Rose. Michelle Rose, thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. I'm Michelle Rose. I'm the Executive Director of the Workforce Development Board serving Cleveland and Cuyahoga County, which is a long way of saying Ohio means jobs. I'm happy to be here because this MOU makes real our community commitment to ensuring that investments benefit more residents. From a workforce perspective, that means hiring our residents when exciting development and construction projects break ground. And as leaders, it's incumbent on us to ensure that residents are then prepared to access these good jobs. As the council president mentioned, the city of Cleveland has invested $10 million to do just that. We're diversifying the training cohorts that are readying for this work. We have new recruiting efforts to reach workers that have traditionally been left out of these exciting opportunities. We have generous stipends to ensure that more people can succeed in training and then ultimately in employment. And we're working with employers here and beyond to hire these great workers. This is such an exciting time to be doing this work here in our beautiful city. Thank you again for including me in this collaboration, and I really want to emphasize that this has been such a collaborative effort from the beginning and for sure going forward. So if we aren't partners already, and many of you here are, we will be soon. And more importantly, if you are a worker watching this and you're interested in this kind of work or this great job and career opportunity, come visit us at Ohio Means Jobs at 1910 Carnegie, and we'll match you to training, supports, and a good job opportunity. Thank you again.
I know my media team is going to kill me, but I got to make an audible because, quite frankly, I think it would be kind of difficult to do questions. So if we're going to do the MOU signing, and then once we do the MOU signing, we're going to just make ourselves available if anybody wants to pull myself, the mayor, or anybody else aside for any interviews, because right now it'd just be kind of hard to try to do any kind of media inquiries. So if you guys are okay with that, we'll make ourselves available if you have any media questions after we do the MOU signing, and we'll make anybody available to you, and I'll ask my media team if you can make sure that you can escort the media to talk to whoever they like. I do want to acknowledge my other good friend and colleague who's been fighting for diversity for a long time, Councilman Kevin Conwell. We can give him a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, as I close and as we do this MOU, I do want to acknowledge Glenn Shoemate, who represents most of the smaller contractors, CAA, if Glenn can say that. And the reason that that's important is because a lot of times people see the big contractors that work on the big jobs, but sometimes there's these small contractors that don't always have the cash flow, and they need an organization, and they need to be a part of their growth opportunities as well. We're trying to do three things. We're trying to inject people into the market. We're trying to take those small firms and help them grow to become mid-sized firms. And we're trying to make sure that the top firms that are all big companies now, like your Shakuras, your Ozans, your McTechs, because I see my good friend Josh Perkins here, your AKAs, that those companies can be on legacy projects, which is why I'm so happy to see all of the sports teams and so many other big developers here today as well, because We're not just going to do this announcement and then walk away. We want to have a mixer. One of the things I've talked to Mike Deemer, thanks to Karen and Doug Price and Karen Paganini, one of the things that we've talked about is we're going to have mixers where we can actually match developers with contractors so that they can develop relationships. And then I do want to encourage everybody to go to the Cube Summit. When is the Cube Summit again?
It's Tuesday, April the 9th at the City Club. It's free of charge and all go up.
What he said, Tuesday, April 9th at the City Club, all free of charge. I'd encourage everybody to do that. We had some phenomenal traction with the Cube Summit last year. It's headed up by Greater Cleveland Partnership, and that's a great opportunity for us to continue to move this work along. With that being said, yes?
Tyson said the website's up to date for CBA.
Thank you so much. How can we forget that? Director Mitchell, who's going to be a key component in this. Raise your hand, because he's going to be the person we're going to be calling on, Tyson Mitchell. Director Mitchell is the director of OEO, and he wanted me to make sure that you all know that the website is officially online and open up today for the CBA, Community Benefits Ordinance. So please look at the Office of Equal Opportunity, go to the Community Benefits Ordinance website. Now you can actually navigate and get that assistance. Thank you so much. And we did invest in his department as well. I'm going to ask all the signers if you can come to my left, your right. Of course, myself and the mayor will sign, and then once myself and the mayor sign, we want to encourage all of the other partners to join us as authorized signers. Document, because we want to remind people what they committed to. So I don't know who's next, but Contractors Assistance Association, Glenn, Downtown Cleveland Alliance. If everybody could just come in order. If we could get a couple of shots first with the camera people and the media. Where's Bill? Everybody here? Challenge. All right, you ready?
Joe, you got my good side. I've been losing weight today.
You nice. As y'all can see, we got a resident Esther. All right, everybody, please sign with your left hand.